Welcome to SVG-TV News, Tuesday, April 16th, 2024. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Communities served by the Montreal water system will have to endure additional hours of water rationing as the water catchment dries up further due to the ongoing drought conditions being experienced in SVG. The Montreal water catchment has been in a red alert at the start of this month, April, with residents being without water for 9 hours, 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. p.m. That's 5 a.m. daily. Assistant Public Relations Officer of the Central Water and Sewerage Authority, Rhian McDowell, tells SVG-TV News that the system at Montreal has become critical. Hence, they have added 4 more hours for water rationing from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
In terms of the riverbed, it's fairly dry. It's minimal water that's going into the system right now. And we upgrade to red, which is you're in the warning section, which means a risk is definitely identified. You are now going to be in strict rationing categories. So which means you can sometimes be rationed twice per day, which currently is happening on the Montreal catchment because Montreal has been upgraded to the red zone, and it is the most serious and critical of all the water systems that we have. So this is when we ask persons not to wash down, not to wet your plants. Be very conservative with your use of water because Montreal is very low. And we're asking customers to please observe this when they're using water in these areas. And Montreal usually feeds between Richland Park down to Smith Valley. And that's a total of 56 villages. So it feeds a wide span. And we're asking persons within that area to please be careful of your water usage.
There are 11 water catchments on mainland St. Vincent. In addition to Montreal, the Delaware water system is currently under some strain as it is on orange alert. CWSA is also water rationing communities linked to the water system from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. until further notice.
Delaware feeds from Vermont to Calico. So Delaware is the biggest system that we have with the widest span. So as Ms. Ryan said before, because of the recent rains we had on the weekend, Delaware is not as critical. That's why it's still holding in the orange area. So we still have to ration, but we're still not in the critical areas yet. So Delaware, thankfully, is maintaining. So we're hoping for more rain as the days go by, so we can probably decrease from orange to yellow, but it's prayers and hopes right about now for more rain. Kingstown is actually a part of the Delaware system. So parts of Kingstown would be, as you're saying, low pressure because the water is not as high as it should be, the water level. So Kingstown is a part of Delaware and would experience all of these issues. Because we have already started rationing parts of Montrose and environs. So that's why you'll be experiencing low water pressure.
Residents not being served by the 2 affected water systems, Montreal and Delaware, will have normal water service at least for now.
For now, the majority of our systems are still in the green zone. So we don't have that many issues. It's from the yellow, orange and red. That should be on alert, and specifically right now that would be Majorca, John Hill, Jennings, Delaware and Montreal, which is the worst. So if you are not currently on a system that's being affected, yes, you should still conserve water, still use water a bit sparingly, but we are not too hard and fast about it. But from yellow up to red, we are asking you to please take note of your usage.
Vincentian entrepreneurs are being encouraged to position themselves for the digital economy, which is quickly advancing worldwide. This from the OAS We Caribbean project manager Lizra Fabian, who is in SVG facilitating a one-day training for small business owners at the Center for Enterprise Development.
So far, we've been able to do a number of initiatives last year, which is forming the basis for the success of this project. We had trainers who were trained, so we had 23 trainers trained across the Eastern Caribbean, and we are happy that this could be the actual implementation, and I would say the first of the 6 countries to actually implement an in-person training across the 6 countries. So let's give a round of applause to the CD as well as to the trainers, our lovely trainers, very engaging trainers from St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As part of the project last year, we also developed toolkits for MSMEs. How many of you saw the toolkits? I hope you've seen the toolkits for business formalization. And we also hosted a webinar, a virtual workshop last month, where we introduced this toolkit to anyone who wanted to be a part of it.
Fabian told the local entrepreneurs that building an online presence is important, and under the OAS We Caribbean project, assessing financial services and market access will be made easier.
Coming up soon, we have a number of initiatives where we'll be looking at access to finance. We'll also be looking at the policy for women being a greater part of the economy, looking at best practices to help you as women entrepreneurs, and also MSMEs across St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the Eastern Caribbean. Also connecting to the diaspora, we're also looking at helping our women to get onto Amazon and the different e-commerce platforms. So there are a number of activities and initiatives that we've done thus far to help us to be ready to continue our support to women entrepreneurs. As part of the training today, I mean, I'm not going into the training itself, but you can look forward to hearing about e-commerce, about content creation, about taking advantage of several of the opportunities in the digital economy.
General Manager of the Center for Enterprise Development, Ronette Lewis, said that the group of entrepreneurs taking the training will be the ones challenging themselves to systemic changes in digital transformation.
I am happy to say that you are sitting in a room with innovators, change makers, and you are what we call good disruptors. I don't know if you've heard the term, but you are good disruptors. And good disruption in this case because you are making a change. So what is happening around the world, you are now a part of a group of people who are causing disruption around the world. And you might say, well, what Ms. Lois mean by disruption? You are now saying we're not doing things the same way, you're doing things differently. You are willing to make a change, and sometimes change can be uncomfortable, but sometimes you have to become uncomfortable to become comfortable.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves on Monday repeated an offer to persons interested in using his lands to farm for at least $1 a year. Almost a year after he made the offer, the Prime Minister made it again on Monday as he addressed the launch of the Wholesome Empowerment for Citizens while advancing the nation, or the We Can project, yesterday at the Liberty Lodge.
Any 2, 3, 4, 5 young people, or not so young persons, who want 5 acres of land to work. I have some lands out in the country. I'd let them work it for themselves. All they have to do, I'll have an agreement with them. They have to pay me just $1 for the whole year with an agreement, because I want nothing what you have, because I don't want you to be on it without the agreement you think is your land, is my own. But I allow you to use it. You see where I'm coming from? The government land, I work hard and buy me a piece of land, you know, so I make that appeal again. Nobody came forward, but I'll repeat it again. You know, out in the area. Well, having gas, I have around Mount William. So I would say that we mark out a piece with roughly 5 acres.
The Prime Minister also spoke on his government's efforts to diversify the economy of SVG from a colonial amended economy to a modern, competitive, many-sided post-colonial economy, which is local, national, regional, and global. He encouraged the youth and others to position themselves to take advantage of the opportunities being made available through the transformation exercise.
Well, one of the things that I noticed, and that's one of the reasons I'd offered the 5 acres for I saw some students from the community college there today, but none of them took me up. You know, they work at, they're completing their degree, the associate degree in, say, agricultural science. Well, for some reason, Most of the people who do agricultural science, they want to go and work in the Ministry of Agriculture or go and teach. None of them want to farm. Well, you can't do 2 years at associate degree and think you really know agriculture. That is helping you to learn about agriculture. Just like what the sister said, she had a 3 months and she got sensitized and she learned certain things. One of the participants all year round. Now, we have, in this transformation of the economy, all boats are supposed to rise. But it doesn't mean that all boats necessarily would rise equally. And you need to have some specific help through specially targeted programs to help some of the boats to rise. That's why, for instance, we have programs like the YES, the SET, On-Site, Prime, and you have this kind of a program in conjunction with WFP, and there'll be more of them. And if you all can think about some of the kind of programs in which we can do, tell me, write me, tell me, say, listen, this is what I think if we can do this.
2 billboards belonging to the ruling Unity Labour Party were recently burnt for a second time in the same location at French's Gate. Commenting on the matter on the Issues at Hand radio program on Sunday, leader of the Unity Labour Party, Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves, said that the billboards, which were likely burnt on the morning following the ULP's rally held on Sunday, April 7, 2024, are not in breach of any law.
Every billboard which the ULP has put up has been put up with the permission of the planning authorities. It's in accordance with the planning authorities. That's fact number 1. Fact number 2, the billboards at the entrance of the city, they're not on public property. They're on private property. Thirdly, there is no law or no sensibility connected to civilization or civilized life and living to say you can't have billboards up after elections. In the United States of America, in Canada, in Britain, you see them. In the United States, Cecil, the election campaign is a continuous one. You see the billboards all over the country.
The ULP leader added that while the Representation of the People's Act outlines guidelines on Elections Day, his party follows the measures put in place with regard to billboards.
What happens is that the Representation of the People's Act says that on Election Day, you mustn't display buntings and images and the like. And what we do on Election Day is, and where they are near to a polling station, we certainly cover them. If you, that polling station, which is opposite where those billboards are, on election morning, they're covered. Anybody who have any memory would remember that. So I just want to state these particular facts.
PM Gonsalves said he is not laying blame on anyone, but people will be able to draw their own conclusions based on basic reasoning.
While you're quite correct that there is no evidence that anybody connected with the New Democratic Party burned the billboards, that you can't say that they hire somebody to do it, or anybody supporting them did it on their own accord or with the approval of the New Democratic Party. Certainly, nobody in the ULP will burn their own billboards. Nobody who supports the ULP will burn their own billboards. I'm not saying that anybody who is supporting the NDP did the burning, but I'm stating what we can reasonably present as facts and evidence. The billboards were burned. This is the second time they were burned. They were burned the second time. They were burned in the early morning after the rally last Sunday evening. So they may well be some coincidence, there may be none. Reasonable persons can draw their own.
As of today, April 16th, the billboards have not been removed or replaced. A family of 6 in Derrick Hill, Beckway is now homeless after fire completely destroyed their 4-bedroom house earlier today. One of the occupants of the house, Selvin K., told SVG-TV News via a telephone interview that no one was at home when the fire started.
I was home this morning, just ended off my little vacation, but when I got the call it was 5 minutes to 11 and I was on work when one of my co-workers who was home and saw the smoke call and tell me that where I'm living is burning down. So I don't know how it happened, storm, but no life was lost. And everybody who's living in the house is okay because nobody was at home. It was just okay. It was a family house, so it only had 4 bedrooms and a kitchen downstairs.
In the house?
Well, in my section, because the house was separated, it's my father, my 2 daughters, and my 2 brothers.
The young mother of 2 said that nothing could be saved, but she is thankful that her children and her are safe.
Everything, nothing was safe. We just didn't last no life, but everything else was gone. Well, I lost everything concerning clothes, so what I have on now is the only thing I have. I lost Pampers, wipes, got the baby's 3 years. My daughter lost all her school clothes, her textbooks, notebooks, and all these other stuff. And one is 8 years old and the baby is 2 years. The house was there. The house was there for a very long time because that was my grandmother's house who passed on. Yeah, that house is a very old house, but I mean, it wasn't shaking or anything, but it's old.
A group called Greater Purpose SVG is looking to bring relief to the family and is encouraging persons to donate items that the family immediately needs.
Now today, our team at Greater Purpose SVG has been contacted and informed of the heartbreaking disaster where Miss Sylvan Kidd and her family of Beckway lost their dwelling home and personal belongings by fire today. They're in desperate need of support, so we as an organization, we are banding together and we are soliciting some prompt assistances towards their immediate needs, such as clothing, food, and toiletries. For anyone out there who may wishes to assist this family in any way, any form, any shape, any kind, and for any information regarding their clothing and shoe sizes, we can be contacted at 1-784-434-4218. And I repeat, 1-784-434-4218. It is at this time that our generosity and kindness are immensely needed towards this family of Beckway.
A post-mortem examination carried out on the bodies of Brenton Barker and Calvert Vert Smart of Park Hill revealed that both men sustained multiple chop wounds and extensive thermal injuries. The partially burnt bodies of the men were discovered behind a house near the Park Hill playing field on April 8th. The RSVGPF says a thorough investigation led to the arrest and formal charging of Alden Thomas, also from Park Hill, with the murders of Barker and Smart. It is alleged that Mr. Thomas, with malice aforethought, unlawfully caused the deaths of Barker and Smart by an unlawful act, contravening Chapter 171, Section 159, Subsection 1 of the revised edition of the laws of SVG 2009. Anyone with information is urged to contact police emergency at 999 or 911. The Criminal Investigations Department at 784-456-1810. The Georgetown Police Station 784-458-6229 or the Connery Police Station at 784-458-6250. It says all information received will be treated with the highest level of confidentiality. The RSVG Police says further updates will be provided as the case progresses. The role of females in law enforcement continues to evolve, and the RSVG Police Force is seeking ways to use their skills in fighting crime. On the Police Beat program yesterday, Corporal Lafleur Williams said one of the challenges she faces being a woman in the RSVG Police Force is the lack of tailored training opportunities for females.
Sometimes you send a female on a course and, she said, boy, I can't do this. But it's mindset and you will. Once you perceive your mind to do something, you would do it. I've been in operation almost all of my policing career. And I've seen myself working hard, very, 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 very hard. I go the extra mile and I even compete as hard as a male and perform by extension harder than most of the males. Yes. And my work ethic speaks to that a lot. As I said, lack of advanced opportunities. Most females, they are not robust as the males. So, and some females, they have certain soft spots. So we have to give leeway to those as well. But all in all, in the police force, it's balanced. The female these days, we see ourselves as trailblazers. We are leading the forefront. And I must congratulate those females who go the extra mile beyond the call. The most rewarding part of my journey thus far is when I was being promoted to the rank of a corporal in 2019. It was more than joy. Seeing somebody who contributes, who work hard, who always believe in success, and just to tap it up with something on the shoulder, Yes. But the best part of it was in 2022 when I was awarded the award of Policewoman of the Year.
Police Inspector Ashlyn Bristol, who was also on the program, says during her 21 years serving with the RSVG Police Force, she has learned how to adapt to various situations.
So as a female officer, even though I may have the experience and the years with me, I will be cautious and use wisdom when arresting persons. So that's been a challenge over the years. And I could answer I could go further to share a little experience I had. Earlier, about maybe 10 years ago, I was patrolling. I was driving at the time. I had a male co-worker with me, and I was in my early stage of pregnancy, and we spotted someone who we wanted, a male, and we took it upon ourselves to say, yes, we want this person to caution and arrest and so forth. Let's go. And to be honest, I did not expect that reaction. And we had to, there was a struggle and so forth. We were assaulted. We finally arrested the person, and the person was taken into custody and so forth, and then arrested for both offenses. So I will humbly say that my beginning was somewhat of a miracle. I will give God the praise at this moment to say, indeed, I was inspired by him. I had little knowledge about the police force. What I know, I saw persons like officers in uniform, that is the basics. I spoke with family members. I was discouraged. And, I prayed about it. I asked God guidance. And at the end of the day, I applied and I was accepted. So he given me that desire actually to make that decision.
Highlighting other hurdles which female officers in the RSVG Police Force encounter, Constable Kimona Homer said there is a different level of respect shown by members of the public to their male counterparts.
As a woman in a predominant male field, some of the challenges I have faced is the respect from the general public.
Yes.
They tend to have more respect for male officers opposed to female officers. I am the 7th child for my mom. The most rewarding part of my career in the law enforcement so far was when I, received an award for Sportswoman of the Year in 2022. So I joined the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force in 2021, April 9th. The same said day the volcano erupted. And achieving that award, it was very gratifying. However, since I joined the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, I must say my problem-solving skills have really improved significantly. My approach in dealing with things has changed also because I have to be physically fit. I am more disciplined now in the gym. I exercise regularly so I can stay fit to perform my duties.
The National Secondary School Band Showcase and other related school activities can have a positive impact on the participants and the country as a whole, particularly in reducing crime. This is according to Senior Education Officer Dexter Backus, who was addressing a media conference on Monday on the showcase to be held on April 27, 2024 at the cruise ship lawn from 1 p.m.
From my experience, growing up in music, the National School Band led by Mr. Geoff Venner, oftentimes we would practice until 1 in the morning. Those are the days when you could practice till 1 in the morning. And at those hours, you had no time after to involve in any foolishness. You were too tired or to involve in something positive, to even think about something on a negative level. So again, there's the issue of crime reduction. Then there's cultural preservation through learning, disseminating, and teaching the students the different folklore through music in St. Vincent. And there's the holistic development of the student. There is no student who could partake in the arts in a meaningful way and walk away without developing themselves as an individual. They learn confidence, they learn how to present, they learn public speaking, they learn how to carry themselves.
A performer at the 2023 showcase, Deco J, encouraged parents to allow their children to participate in the showcase, noting that it would be an opportunity for them to discover the possibilities of their passion.
Okay, more people get to express themselves on this stage. For those who never performed on a stage before, there is a first opportunity to go and perform on a stage, and you get to free up yourself after what the fellow said, you know? And one other thing, some people find their passion by that as well. So like, you don't know if you want to be a singer, a pianist, a drummer, you might go and start feeling the pan or feeling the drum. You know what, I think I could be a drummer. Just because of that person, you might say, yeah, I think I might be good at the drum, you know. So last year when I took part in the school band showcase, I performed and I felt really, really good. As in like, yo, you know, like this really happening, you know, it lightened me up, you know, and it made me feel like I want to do it again. And after I performed, coming up in this year, I got the opportunity to go on a whistle stop with them down in Leeward side, and it was fantastic. It was like one of the best things ever happened to me, you know. So like, I would encourage all parents to send out all their kids to come. Either as like, if you don't want to come, send them. Let them come and enjoy themselves, watch and enjoy. Those who are taking part of the school band showcase, don't be afraid. Just go on the stage, free up yourself and sing, you know, communicate with people, you know, it's something nice.
St. Lucia's Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre assures citizens the island's Citizenship by Investment program, nor its visa-free status, are in jeopardy.